Hello everybody, welcome to today's class. Thank you so much for being here. This class will be an upper body focus. We'll be focusing on the shoulders today, more specifically on 4 muscles, the rotator cuff muscles. The rotator cuff muscles tend to be a sensitive area in the body where it always needs a little bit more attention and tender loving care. And this is what this short practice is about. You will need a few props. You'll need a bolster, and I have another bolster here for support under my neck, but you can use a towel or a blanket rolled up. Also a couple of massage balls if you have them handy, and 2 sets of blocks. The reason for the 2 sets of blocks, because we'll be doing a couple of exercises where the cork blocks will be more beneficial. So if you only have soft blocks, then I recommend that you have a couple of heavier books around. They'll come handy. So we're going to start laying down, and then you're going to grab the bolster. And then you're going to lay down on the bolster. And then the head is hanging off. But as I said, if you have a blanket or a towel, you can roll it up. Now let's spend just a couple of moments closing your eyes and just settling in, creating this big opening in the chest, releasing the arms all the way down. And just focusing on breathing through the nose. Taking the time to check in with your body. How are you feeling today? What sensations are happening now? And then after the next exhalation, just reach your arms above your head. And then just naturally start to release them all the way down toward the ground. And then just keep going all the way up, allowing that arc to happen in the back. And then all the way back, all the way down. Just allow your arms to turn naturally as they want to during the movement. You might hear some crack. That's perfectly normal. Let's do 5 more. And then release, bend into the elbows. So the elbows are creating a 90-degree angle. And then try to keep the elbows all the way down in the ground as you slowly start to reach down with the hands toward the floor. And the hands might touch, maybe not. And then as you're picking up, start going all the way into the opposite direction. And you might notice a slight difference between the sides. And that is perfectly normal. We all have imbalances between the sides of our bodies. try to go as slow as possible with as much control as possible. Let's do 2 more each directions. Finishing the movement in external rotation, so the palms are flat, reaching down toward the ground. And then slowly bring the knees to the chest, come off of the bolster. And now we're going to lay down on our bellies. So the bolster is really good to have because we elevate the floor. And then just leave your blocks out to the side. So we can gain a little bit of a bigger range of motion by having the bolster around. So we're going to keep the head up, finding this 90-degree angle on the elbows. And we're going to repeat the same movement. You're going to pick up your hands and then move them up and then all the way down. Slowly but surely. And then once you arrive up, just give it a little bit of a squeeze and hold it up there. Pause there a little bit before releasing it down. Try to bring the whole hand up and not bending into the wrist. So keep the hands and the forearms all together. Let's do 2 more. And come down. Now we're going to start pointing the thumbs up, all the way up toward the ceiling. And then do the same movement from here. And you'll notice that this might be a little bit more challenging. We're changing the position, the angle. Find that little pause when you're moving that thumb all the way up toward the ceiling. Just 2 more. And as you're holding the thumbs up, we're going to start turning the thumbs down so the pinky fingers are pointing up, and this is the most challenging way to do this exercise. And then keep lifting it up and releasing it down. Keep going. Three more. Hold it up, fight for a little more, and then release down. Come all the way up, and then you can be kneeling on the bolster, or you can also be standing here. And this is where we'll be using the cord blocks. So you come up to kneeling before we return back to the bolster. And then if you want to give yourself a little bit of a toe stretch, you can curl the toes under. And then you could do this from standing. What we need is that we want to be able to hover the blocks off of the floor. And then we're going to start opening the arms and then moving them back. And then what we're doing now, we are targeting supraspinatus, which is one of the rotator cuff muscles. And we are purposely opening the arms just about to a 30-degree angle. And why we're doing that? Because the supraspinatus tends to get its most activity out in the first 10 to 15 degree of angle. So imagine when you are grocery shopping and you're carrying those big heavy bags inside your home. In that action, you're mostly using your supraspinatus. So keep going. And you are in the driver's seat. So if you want to make it a little bit more challenging, then first you can use heavier props, or you can add a little bit of an irrigation, and you can make this movement harder by imagining that the air is dense and you need to use force, more force to open the arms to the sides. Let's do 5 more. Slowly with control. And release. Put the props out to the side. We're going to return back on the bolster. And in the beginning, as we had the elbows down, this time we're going to bring the hands in line with the ribs, and then you're going to tuck the elbows close to the back as much as possible. So the shoulder blades are squeezing together, they're going to this pro-retraction. And then from here, you move the arms out, so you have this 90-degree angle here. The fingers are pointing out to the side. The same movement, hands come down and touch, and then they move up. But I'm really aiming to keep my elbows tucking in toward the back. And then of course, when I move the arm up, I pause there a little bit to find that little shakiness. Take your time and do 2 more. And now start pointing the thumbs up, so the pinky is reaching down. And then 5 times slowly. All the way up, all the way down. Three more. Keep squeezing. Fight for a little more. As you come up, start turning the thumb down so the pinky is moving up now. And repeat. Again, this is probably the hardest position to do this exercise from. 2 more. And release. Just take a breath. And now if you have the foam blocks, they're going to come super handy, as we're going to repeat both exercises, but with the blocks. So if you only have cork blocks or books, then it's going to be a lot more challenging. So we come back to this position, or the hand is flat, so you need to find a way to grab into the blocks, find that 90-degree angle on the elbows, and then the elbows will be pressing all the way into the ground. And then we lift the arms and put them down. And then lift, come down, all the way up. Enjoy the shake. And then do 2 more. and release. Now the thumbs are pointing up. So grabbing the blocks in a way where you can hold the thumbs up. And then 5 times. Three. Fight for a little more. Last one, hold it up. And start turning the thumbs down. So now the pinky is pointing up. And then just 5 times. Let's do it together. 1. Don't forget to pause a little bit. 3. 4. And 5. Now, using the same blocks, we come back into this position where the elbows are lifted up now. The forearms are reaching up for a 90-degree angle. The hand is flat. And then 5 times up and down. Up. Slowly down. 2 more. I don't know how you're feeling, but I'm really shaking here. And then now the thumbs are pointing up. Just 5 times. Try to enjoy that shake. Two more. And then turn the thumbs down. Pinky is pointing up. And then let's do it 5 times. Really shaking here. 3, 4. Last one. Give me the nicest one. Squeeze. And release. Whew. Take a breath. Now, if you're up for it, you could just repeat this whole sequence one more time. And we're going to finish with a little bit of a manual release. And this is where you'll need 1 ball. And the muscle we're going to release today is teres minor. So if you lift your arm all the way up, you let the shoulder blade glide up. Teres minor is at the back, at the bottom of the shoulder blade, but the behind bottom part of the shoulder blade. So how you know that you found it, if you bend your elbow and you start rotating your arm in, you should feel a little bit of a pinch moving, like something pushing into your fingers. And then once you find that, you're gonna grab the ball, and then you're gonna place the ball under that same area, and then you're gonna come down. And then you might need to move around a little bit and find that little sticky spot. Trust me, you'll know when you found it. And we're not going to spend too much time here today. We're just going to go for 1 spot. But try to find a position where you can stay there. And then just observe all the sensations that you're getting. You might even need to move it a little bit around to find that sticky spot. And it's also individual for everybody, where there's more tension. We're going to stay here for a little bit of time, just until the point where a different sensation is starting to come up for you. And then if you have more time, then you could start moving the ball around and finding some different spots around the same area. So feel free to pause the video if you have time for that, and then just return back to us. Otherwise, we're going to switch sides. So again, under the shoulder blade at the back part, and then bend into the elbow. Do a couple of inner rotations, and you should feel the muscle pushing into your hands, into the fingers. Yeah. And when you got it, you place the ball under. And then just see how this side feels. So you might have noticed during the exercise that one side, it's totally perfect and normal, that one side feels a little tighter, a little bit more sensitive. And feel free to close your eyes. As I said, if you're not feeling much happening there, then you might need to roll a little bit around. I am certainly feeling there's a lot of things happening in there. And you know, the rotator cuff muscles are really one of those muscles that they need extra attention, they need extra care. And this video, this is, if you had any rotator cuff injuries, then this is sort of like a rehab. But if you haven't had any injuries, then you can also look at it as a prehab. And adding this type of work before doing a vinyasa class is very, very beneficial. So as I said, you stay there until you start to feel a different sensation, and then feel free to investigate the whole area around. And if you're following me and you're going to come up, I hope you enjoyed this short little practice, and I'll hope to see you soon again.